And we're into the action here, folks. Let's dive on in. Bad News Eagles, Team Falcons, dueling off here on Vertigo. And for the Falcons, I think it's about setting the tempo very early on this map. We know how brutal these T-sides can be, and okay, GXX gonna do so right off the rip. Goodbye, NBK. Nothing for you in this one.
Wow, that was a statement of intent. Eager to take the duels and collects ahead for his trouble. And look at all three of these players on Bad News Eagles. They are so determined. Look at the mini-map, Mike. They're leaving B open. This is a wild pistol. Double mid. B open?
Yeah. I guess they're expecting that mid presence or to get an audio cue from utility, but there's not a lot of utility at hand. So now they're bunched with 3 to rotate. They'll start to move Synopsy back in, but this has been a very mobile pistol round. And actually so much space given over for Falcons, isn't it? Okay. All right. Bomb probably going to go down. Indeed it will. And that kill, this retake actually has some legs. Oh, okay, misutaaa. Action here. A third found. misutaaa, just with a Glock, has turned this on its head. And now this is such a tough retake. Even just getting past Python here, never mind, is not the hard part of the round. But misutaaa appears to be the raid boss. He's gone to the USP. There's not really a lot of chances here for Rygon, and the double swing will be effective. misutaaa with 4 kills.
Wow, what an after
leave it open?
Wow. But I have to say, I am not a fan of the macro there from Bad News Eagles. You get the kill on ramp and full information, and you commit to leave free there and leave B open. I don't mind it as the start of the round call. You're making a guess. That's how Counter-Strike works. But they had a lot of time to at least get into a setup where, you know, they're going to trade 1-for-1 on B or buy time. But, you know, when you let it get to an afterplant, that's when you allow the dice to be rolled rather than really using your numbers to your advantage.
Molotov in. Little peeky poo from center. What's he gonna find here? Oh, this feels just deep in my pores like a 5-7 clip moment. Can't tell you why exactly, Alan, but I feel the energy coming my way. Here's the first, looking for 2. He's got 3 as well. Center shutting it down, denying any space towards the steps, and now he's got reinforcements here. It's all on the Maka, and I hate to say I told you so, Falcons, but I told you so. Maka coming on in, too many targets to find, and he will be traded out. A 5-7 clip indeed. Center flipping things on its head.
That was amazing. I mean, I was sat back, Mike. I was thinking he's dead. This is a dead man. He's going to get spammed. He's going to die immediately. You've totally cursed him. And the first kill was a bit of a spray. The second and third, he absolutely annihilated them. Wow, that was... what I'll say is clip it up and ship it to Maui because he'll enjoy that clip a lot.
I want to say I feel the Deagle round coming back to answer, but I don't. I don't feel the energy tingles here, Alan. Maybe I'm wrong.
Only so much of a quota of those sort of predictions.
Yeah, right? You can't just keep spinning it. Ooh, okay, yeah, definitely not this round. It's not happening. Apparently the prediction fairies may have blessed me today. We'll see if I get another one in this series.
That was an underwhelming force buy. No kills, 5 alive for Bad News Eagles. An AK brought through from the reset round. This is actually a big deal already because this is bound to be a full eco essentially. So the Eagle clip, the 5-7 clip was beautiful, but the overall impact maybe is even greater because Bad News Eagles are going to have so much cash when we get back on the guns.
Chip up nade damage early. Not that you have to be too worried about these Glocks regardless, but hey, a Glock with 20 health is better to face than a Glock with 100. Rygon, not one to fear any variety of Glocks. Does have to worry about running out of bullets, though. This is the one thing. I will say, I think the biggest detail change of the amperage reduction in the A1S is that the rifle's a lot more vulnerable to these kind of rounds where you just throw bodies at the gun to gunk it up and waste their bullets. That is, I think, the most profound effect I've seen out of the reduced ammo on the rifle.
Potentially. I don't think here, with 3 sat on the bomb,
no, this should be alright.
It's going to be a problem.
Yeah.
Honestly, go B and try and find a kill rather than defusing this bomb. This is over. What's even the point? Bit of a mow down from the bridge. And there you have it. Look at the CT money already. We're round 5 and GXX is 7,000. It's crazy.
Yeah, it does feel like we're absurdly early going to have to be saying this. But because of how well the beginning of this game has gone for bNE, this round feels like it has a lot of importance. I don't know that Falcons have to win it, but they do need to make it contentious one way or another. Because we've effectively got a bonus round with full rifles, and it doesn't get better than that, really. NBK, though, will get an entry, and that's a nice thing to find. Ramp now under major threat with an advantage here. The Falcons may be able to work.
Is that a CT smoke by the crane? I'm a little perplexed, and I wonder if they've missed a smoke mic and not expected NBK to be through.
I've seen some... it's weird to throw early. It's way too early. I've seen some teams throw that if they want to play a close up by the crane to sort of give them an angle to swing around and maybe get a spot on the player ramp. But it was way too early.
One of the sandbags?
Right? No. Like, actually one by the side of the crane just to give you a slightly wider angle. It's not often. It's not frequent, but I have seen players throw that before. It's almost like a reverse lurk smoke because you can sometimes see the heads popping around on the corner of it. It's not a very common one, and that definitely isn't what they were trying to do that early on. Or if they were, it's weird.
I'm not sure whose team smoke it was, to be honest. My hunch is CT side, but that didn't make it any easier and gave NBK so much space just to crawl up completely unnoticed.
Speaking of crawling up completely unnoticed, this smoke's faded. NBK hit another ripper. CSNopsyy though. CSNopsyy is going to try and keep this round in their control. Coming back around as well. That damage is actually traded, and NBK's low. He's done so much work into this round, but none of his teammates have been able to get activated, and it falls into a 1v2. Oh my goodness, Alan. What a disappointing turn of events for Falcons. NBK put in so much work finding kills, opening up the A ramp, and they couldn't even plant the bomb.
Rolled out the red carpet, but that red was from their own blood, I suspect. And I'm not sure exactly how that collapsed so quickly. It just felt like that Ivy player got a bit too much space, and then as they're actually scrambling onto the bomb site, they're just getting taken down from Tetris. So maybe should have used more utility to deal with Ivy. And look at this ramp rush so fast on the flashes, already scaled up past the crane. GXX still stuck in sandbags. Not a position you want to be AWPing from very often, but it looks like CSNopsyy's here to help, and that nade is the ultimate kick in the teeth.
Well, I was sort of wondering about this Vertigo pick for Falcon coming into the series, but I thought, they had a good one against Ecstatic. Maybe they've been working this map. Maybe they know something I don't. Early on, I'm not really very convinced. Even that round that was contentious was really just about NBK having really good fights individually. It wasn't like they had some brilliant, terrific setup. So, very early doors, as you say, Alan. But, color me unimpressed to this moment.
Just keeping an eye on the macro from Falcons because it's just a small thing, but it's a huge deal that you can hear so much as the T side. In terms of how the team is opening the round, and they should have heard 3A, but they've chosen to play so slow. Dink is nice, but look at Regon here, smoking down the bottom of yellow, all this space, got his AWP with him. Regon. to help. I
Utility's
mean,
gone,
this
though,
is...
for the CTs. Look at what bNE have to play with here. A retake's going to be a nightmare. They got a single smoke, 2 flashes. No volleys, certainly. No HEs. That's often how you see teams play. Like the A ramp retake is just going with the nades.
I'll give you the counter, though. T-side, no smokes.
Maybe they just agreed to play like a utility-less game past the first minute.
I'd love to see that.
Gentleman's agreement. Flashes are for cowards. Apparently kills are not for Falcons. Come on now, they need to get something. There's a couple coming back their way. The op still trying to peer around, and Rygon will bring this advantage back through. 20 seconds, they've got no space. Where are they gonna go? It's just a gamble at this point. They have no information on the site. 15 seconds. If this first kill comes in from center, this round is over. Even without it, this round is over. Okay, no chance at a plant. At least they die before time. Okay, Falcons, you do have to get on the bomb site eventually.
Yeah, this is getting a little concerning. I don't know where all their nades went from Falcons, because they seem to give ramp at the start, which is normally, you know, a byword for we're going to save our nades, let the CTs burn theirs, then we'll be clever, retake it. But for whatever reasons, they were splurging all their utility for no control. And as much as Bad News Eagles didn't have utility, they had forward positions, they had information, they had space to play with, and they bled the clock so much. It was kind of the worst of all worlds for Falcons. I think they need to rethink this T-side approach, because right now they're not getting any advantages.
Okay, limited weaponry. Presumably this makes them play a little faster. Maybe. Although they're spreading into a bit of a default. They're grouping up the B steps hit. Last time this happened, they got annihilated by a 5-7. But this time, there's rifles on the other side. There is another player close up by panel. JuanFlatroo here. Could get caught by this. Molotov will section off some players. There's the first kill. He's lost a teammate, though, just blind spamming. And this is effective now for the Falcons. They've got a foothold. They haven't crossed towards the site proper. Then that's going to cost them one and a second. Bomb down. The moment may have just been lost. Rotations are good here. The Bad News Eagles, a bit overwhelmed in the first moment, but they're so quick to respond. And that's the beauty of Vertigo. You can correct your mistakes positionally in an instant.
They're also playing a 2 mid setup there. And actually, I can't remember which player it was, but one of them was holding a Molotov for B and playing anti-flash for mid. So, honestly, they should have got more of that B setup, but the rotates were so close, as you mentioned. It's not the end of the world, and also economically, okay, it would have been nice to save more guns through, but they've just got so much cash. And again, the earnest has to be on Falcons. At least they're upping the pace here in mid. And Flatroo is alone, so he's got to give this. Just jiggling from the window. So finally some early space taken and not a lot of utility done.
All time whittling off the clock here. Python, gotta be a little bit wary about this. They're gonna come look, and he will get his kill. Able to fall away, so an advantage here for Falcons. Only their second, I believe, of the game. Not gonna last very long, but the trade is there. Well played from NBK. They spread this defense. 3 on 4 now. These players will start to inch their way up the A ramp. Problem is, this is where the presence is focused for the Bad News Eagles. They've got the players here in time. The op is towards the side hall. And so the Falcons, whether they realize that or not, are going to leave. Here's the right read. Okay, Alan, things are getting interesting. NBK, right, he doesn't die for free here. Continues to make some noise, convince them that they do need to stick around, but he's been collected. And center now sees the utility. The rotation's going to be on here. Center catches that flash, though. Can't deny the bomb plant. Finally, a bomb plant. But holding on to it's going to be a different story. A flank will be developing. JuanFlatroo's coming forward. Center gets ahead of it. And that could have been the kill that actually sees this round come through for Falcons. Because now they're worried about the flank. Now they only have to worry about one towards either side here. And, well, unless we get a massive play from one of these two, this should be done. The op is spotted. The second player as well. He's got the information, but not the execution. JuanFlatroo had the pieces of the puzzle, but he couldn't put them together. And the round will go the way of the Falcons.
Good recovery. I think that round was more about punishing Bad News Eagles for playing so loose and aggressive on A. And I was nervous there, Mike. They had one smoke left at 1 minute. I think it was about 1 minute 30. Falcons were down to one smoke. They are using so many nades, presumably on ramp early, to contest for control, and they're not getting it. I think stuff like this, the early Ivy smoke and doing so many early nades, they've got to be more willing to take that control. And this time they are, so this is a good change-up, Mike.
Okay. All right. Actually traded there. I don't know if he realizes Rag was behind him the whole time. It'll be a 1-for-1 though. They do manage to pinch back in, so Falcons still have a chance here. They've got decent utilities. CSNOPSYy just wants to come into the fight, and a lot of damage. Don't know if you wanted to stick around there after the initial engagement, CSNOPSYy. A bit of overconfidence here, but the reinforcements are present for the Bad News Eagles. They will continue to try and press the action. They're all about that action, and so is Maka. 1v2. Health not great for the Falcon side, but they can just leave, and Maka is going to do exactly that. He's gone. Alan, he's gone. He's picked correctly. Bomb plant's going to go down. And things are going to get weird with Python still left towards A. Wait. Was that just a bait? What?
Looks like
They're
it.
coming back in?
Oh,
What?
no.
What?
Now it's looking like a mistake, isn't it?
Yeah, that feels like too much thinking in a 1v2. You got the numbers, you got the advantage. And now Maka with 9 HP has to try and find a place to get this bomb down, and he no longer has any information about where center could be. Because he wasn't the backlines. He could still be there. He could just be right here. He could be anywhere, realistically. And now center knows. Okay, alright, time to get moving. Molly will allow the bomb plant to come through. Those have been few and far between for the Falcons. But center's not giving up any audio cues here. Maka's reading this right. The shot has to hit. Here's the moment, and he's got it. Had the read, had the shot, had the execution. But what he didn't have is any teammates survive with him.
They'll take rounds, honestly, at this point. CT money's on the brink. I think they should keep buying, though. The cash is low, and thinking back to the 2-on-1, in the sense that when he makes the bridge noise and he's on that HP, I don't think he can go B. Because if there's anybody there, he's dead. And that's the bomb dropped, and that's the round over. So he had to kind of go back. But I do truly think they should have just gone both onto A, keep it simple. But NBK, he's only got 6 frags, Mike, but it feels like every single one is like this. Ripping open a bomb site. And that's not a quality I would honestly associate with a player like NBK. So I'm impressed.
He really does feel like he's taking matters into his own hands in a couple of rounds now. He has been the engine that has actually propelled them into any sort of competitiveness. And this one's certainly going to work out. Bad News Eagles will have to save with what little they've got. A kill on the Hadji means that CSNOPSYy can take this gun through, provided he backs off. CSNOPSYy. What's the plan here? What's the plan here? Oh! The plan is death, Alan. The plan is death.
I think we can see that one coming. It's Falcons. Great entry by NBK. Just accelerates behind it. He's essentially on his own until maybe 5-6 seconds, and that support can come in. But this is better from Falcons. We're working more of the map. We're not so hyper-focused on just launching utility towards A and trying to kind of essentially aim duel it out. So I've enjoyed this a lot more, and they've broken the money. Falcons maybe starting to show us why Vertigo was the pick.
Oh, GXX pushed off the angle early on. All right, so what round? They just need 5 to convince you here, Alan? What do they need?
5 would already be, I think, a good recovery, given how badly it was going. Yeah, 5 is fine if you throw in the context that they got reset second and the economy got out of control. That's honestly a result on a map like Vertigo, but from the perspective of being their map pick, 7 would be comfortable.
Oh, he's needy. He's demanding here. Settle for 5. Ask for 7. That's right. Know your self-worth. Chat. Ask for more. If they don't say no, you're not asking for enough. Let's see if Falcons will give Alan everything he's wishing for. The op's going to be here. Presence is here as well. We do need that D ground. Not going to happen. It's not the 5-7. Oh, maybe it is. Hand cannon hit center. Second pistol round of the map, and now the bombs will drop. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. It's all coming apart. It's all coming off the rails. Python needs an ace to bring this back through. But he's just got one player left to find. 4 kills already found. The dance with depth of CSNOPSYy, and Python sets things back on course. What a time to come alive for Python. He was bottom of the board for both teams until he steps up in that moment, Alan. But that really saves the bacon of Falcons.
Oh, that was wild. I mean, so many players on B. There's absolute carnage. Scenario, beautiful chain of deal headshots, and ultimately requires Python to bail out. As maybe, Mike, they're thinking they deserve an 8.
Okay. All right. Rygon brings those numbers back. A little boost up here. Corpse for cover, but oh my goodness. Might need a few more bodies to stack in. NBK. Doing what we've strangely come to expect from him on this map. And Maka will be left as the lone man up on the steps. Python's trying to join him. Might be a little too late. Flashbangs are good. Cover from the smoke. They realize center's out, though, and you can't stick in that position once you've been spotted. But it helps when you have CSNOPSYy behind you to clean things up. 8th round found there for the Bad News Eagles.
Indeed, and as much as bNE couldn't get that force buy over the line, the economic damage was monumental. Pushed Falcons back so hard. No buffer, and look at this now. misutaaa pulled up a little. Is this going to be a full investment? Indeed it is, but look at the utility here. I mean, smokes is good, but this lack of flashbangs could cause real problems pushing back GXX.
First kill takes out the hero of 2 rounds ago. Python has been removed, making Python boots out of him. Okay, goodbye. So 2 of the really explosive players that we've seen so far are eliminated, and with limited weaponry, not really potentially expecting too much, but okay, all right. An aggro fight there for the Bad News Eagles. Just feel like at times in these advantageous rounds, they set themselves up to die. And there's another one. No need to get that frisky with the spamming, the reloading, the bailing, and instead the bomb will go down. Okay, so opportunity given over for the Falcons. A boost up as well. Oh, so effective for Makazin. He's made this rifle sing for the team. The flashbangs are good, the kills are better, and suddenly this round should be over. CSNOPSYy wants to try and fly back into the fray, and to be fair, he's caught 2. Somehow dragging this back into the realm of possibility. One bullet more was required. Hadji recovers a 6th round found, and now no money to fight for the last.
This is carnage. This is such carnage in these last couple rounds. I think bNE, though, they're getting a little sloppy on A after securing ramp. Regon's out in the open, gets taken down. It's a bit of a scramble from the remaining 2 as Falcons are covering territory, and honestly, with the early picks, I think that should have been Bad News Eagles round every day of the week, but now it's them in the terrible economic position. Look at this, 2 MP9s, a Deagle. Sure, they've made good of a lot of these kind of low buy rounds, but maybe this one's too much to ask.
Their big error in this round is that center is on an MP9 as opposed to a pistol. That's yeah. I think that's the
Even
blunder
drop
here.
him extra pistols for when he runs out of ammo.
True. Or just swap with Rygon right now. Say, you know what, bro? Give me the dig. Don't love that exchange for the Bad News Eagles, but NBK will take it all day. Thank you very much. More entries for NBK. Everybody's here for the CT side, and they've got a flank. Center's actually on that flank, waiting to hold them in. So for the Falcons, well, Python might get this kill for free if Center gets a little too antsy. He's going to be doing. Oh no, can't zero that in. Fortunately, everybody else appears to be doing their job just fine. And indeed, it will just be left to a 6 HP Center to try and pull back a 1v3 where he is nowhere close to being in position. He did his job. He got his. But unfortunately, a flank only works if there's something going on at the front. And there's not. We'll be back after this break. Well, now, this is a much closer scoreline than perhaps we were expecting early on in that half. Falcons, they get it done. I don't think there were a whole lot of clean rounds in there, but they get it done the dirty way. That's all they needed. Now a proper chance to show up, and their map pick, unless they all die to CSGO in the first 10 seconds of the pistol round out.
Yeah, mid push. Don't mind it, but you need to hit the shots, and Flatroo might be out in the open. But look at it. Look at his teammates. They're already establishing after plants. Got CSGO on the flank. Unless these two men coming in from behind do biblical amounts of work, it's not going to happen. Misutaaa, position known. Nice fade away, but it's not going to make a great deal of difference. Nade as well. Salt in the wounds. As bNE.Eagle couldn't pick up the first pistol, but they did get the reset, and now they got the second pistol. So,
well,
I don't know.
You said it would take biblical amounts of work. I think they were reading the part about on the 7th day they rested. Not quite.
Maybe.
The level needed there. I mean, admittedly in the first half pistol, right? Falcons lost all the initial engagements, and then misutaaa just killed everybody. This time, misutaaa only killed 2. So, maybe not the best pistol strat if it relies on misutaaa killing everybody. Especially since apparently that's where most of his kills have come from so far. Could use him getting a bit more activated here in this half. I've just noticed he's been fine, but maybe lagging behind a bit here.
Gone for the eco, so we're not going to see another early reset unless we are in for something truly incredible. Traded is re-gone, but there's just too many numbers here. Scenario is dinked. Falls to the ground. Good damage already, Mike. Honestly, 2 frags on a full eco. It might not seem like a lot, but when we go into this following round, and if bNE.Eagles do lose it, it suddenly puts them in a really tough economic position.
mAdHis, they take some interesting bounces and don't actually connect on anybody. So a 1-for-1 trade, make that 2 in center. Oh, it gets better and better. Been informed he's scenario apparently in the break. So I'll attempt to upload that information in my brain. It might take a little while for the patch to install, but disastrous situation here for the Falcons. Frankly, do they even attempt this retake?
Doesn't feel like it. It's not worth it, is it? Hold on to these as bNE.Eagles streak their way up to 11. After what an explosive round. It wasn't like Falcons didn't have the numbers on the site, or maybe they even couldn't have expected it, but they're 2 there. The first guy trapped by wood can't do anything as that Mac 10 is absolutely Ferrari peeking up the stairs. And man number 2 just gets annihilated by the Khalil of Scenarii. So Scenarii, he has showed up to play today. He's had so many important impact frags.
Ha'Dji ace? Maka ace! Alright. It's happening. I called the wrong player, but I'm doubling down now, Alan. I'm doubling down. It's going to require the Maka ace here if they're going to convert this round. Call my shot. Got 1 in the first half. Here's the shot call in the second. How do you rate my chances?
If you say so.
Look
If you say so.
Why they've just left B? They've gambled. Uh-oh. GXX. About to feast. No. Get that utility away. GXX. And BK has a chance. Won't get the kill. Molotov down. Misses his shots. So he's not going to get a chance to ruin the ace. There are 2 players pushing up on the flank, including one Maka with an AK. Bomb's getting planted right in front of him. NBK down for the count. Maka making his inroads here. 3 more targets to find. Foretell the prophecy, and it's not going to happen. It's not going to happen. The prophecy was a sham. It turns out I'm not an oracle. I'm just a Counter-Strike caster. And Python alone against 3 does not have a lot of opportunities to get back into this round.
Indeed.
I guess I shouldn't buy a lottery ticket, Alan.
No. Well, the good news is the bNE survived the scare, get through the round. The bad news is we don't get to change your name to Delphi and stick you on a big hill in Greece.
Ooh, yo. Delphi as a caster name would be kind of sick. Or would it be an analyst name?
Could be either, I think.
Or just Oracle.
You just got to make mad predictions.
There's gotta be
every day. It's actually, I think it actually is like a troll Twitter account where all you do is just make the absolute wildest predictions before every tournament.
Yeah, I think it's called Danish CSGO leaks, right?
Sounds about right.
There's not a CS player named Oracle. Hold on, I'm going to try replacing some of the letters with numbers. 3 for the E didn't do anything. What about 4 for the A? Not getting that either. Not getting that either. It does seem like we might have a little bit of a delay here, folks, while I attempt to Google Oracle. There was a team at one point called Oracle Empire. It was an Australian team that haven't played since 2017. So there is a distinct missed opportunity for branding in the CS scene. Someone should call themselves Oracle or Delphi. Either one would be pretty sick, wouldn't it, Alan?
It would. I imagine a lot of the viewers at the moment are a little bit confused, but they need to read up on their Greek mythology /
yes.
What period would it be? Probably Thermopylae.
We've got time, so let's talk about it. So the Oracle at Delphi, there was this place called Delphi, and there was an Oracle who was a young woman who lived in a cave and would make predictions. And one of the theories about why the Oracle might have had visions and made predictions is that there were actually toxic gases leaking in that cave in Delphi. And the theory is that she was just high out of her mind constantly, and so would just rant and rave like a lunatic and make wild visions and predictions. And then basically people, in the classic like fortune teller method, you say enough things in loose enough interpretations and metaphors, and people will figure out how it actually fits into what then occurs.
Interesting, but is it the case that there's a revolver? It's not the same person, is it? Isn't it? There is an Oracle of Delphi.
Yes.
Right. So they were all getting gassed.
Well, I mean, I think it's like a progression. You train them up in getting absolutely high in caves and making predictions, and you just keep cycling through.
Is there a gateway cave before you get on the real stuff?
I don't know. There might be a little gateway. That would be an interesting progression. But yeah, no, the Oracle pays a lot of roles in a lot of famous Greek stories. I mean, even the Iliad, in order to launch their ships, Agamemnon was told that he had to sacrifice his daughter or the winds would never start up again. So he did, killed her and sacrificed her. And then when he came back from the Trojan War, he got killed by his wife in revenge. It's a whole great story. Agamemnon, tragic play, excellent stuff. Terrible story. What was her name? What was the name of the play where it's actually about her getting sacrificed? Come on, Alan.
I don't know. I mean, I've read the modern, and so there's a book called Song by Achilles, which you might have read.
I haven't. Iphigenia was the daughter he sacrificed. There we go.
Yeah, so that part is in the Song of Achilles. I recommend it. It's a very good take because it's written from I forgot his name, Mike, the cousin of Achilles. It's from his perspective.
Not Ajax.
It'll come to me.
Menelaus.
No. It's a P.
Different cousin. Oh, Menelaus was his brother. Who's his cousin?
Was it his cousin or was it like his apprentice? I forget the relationship. We're gonna have to look this up.
There were a lot of those Greeks, man. You're gonna have to be a little more specific.
It's the one he was meant to have a relationship with, put it that way.
I'm not familiar.
Patroclus.
Patroclus, the one Achilles' lover.
Yes.
That's not Agamemnon's lover. That's Achilles' lover.
No, that's what I was on about.
Oh, I thought you were talking about Agamemnon still.
We need to have a long...
If you haven't read the Iliad, though, worth a read. It's crazy. It's full of action and gore and craziness and tucking spears and stabbing gods and all sorts of strangeness. Literally, at one point, I think Odysseus fights a god or some crazy stuff happens. And then the god's like, chill, bro. If you keep doing this, I will just shred you. Like, just back off. That happens. There's a straight up exchange where someone tries to fight a god and the god's like, calm down. Simmer down. Hit the bench.
That is badass.
Chill out.
That is flexing.
That is flexing. When you're just like, you're so insignificant to me that if you continue to do this, I will annihilate you. But I'm giving you a warning first.
Well, is that Bad News Eagles here?
I think so, honestly. I mean, they've had hot starts to games. Maybe Falcons can recover, but it did feel like some of those errors that the Bad News Eagles made in the first half allowed Falcons back in a round. I'm still not convinced by this Falcons Vertigo pick.
Still got time. Still got time. Problem is, T-side money's good, so they've got to make some changes. They haven't had a lot of full buy rounds, honestly, on the CT side. Ooh. Python, that's nice. That's nice. Finally, an entry frag. And now they can settle in and play this man advantage.
Let's give them something, but they're going to group up in towards the B hit. Utility over. That looked like it was straight on, but apparently misutaaa was on the right side of that girder. Steel is thick for those kind of support beams, so I can believe that would stop a grenade. Probably wouldn't do a great deal for the structural integrity of what you're building, though, to throw grenades at the support beams. But you know what? Hopefully they don't have too careful an inspector. Python has a chance to shut down this whole round, especially with misutaaa drawing the focus. He's going to get close up. It's a bit risky, but it works out. And this one's looking like a wash for the Bad News Eagles. Honestly, at this point, economic damage onto the CTs would be a great find if they can get a kill or two. Just prevent that CT economy from building up. There's one. Ooh, the second. No, Python's good for it. 1 HP, he'll survive. So this is a great round, Alan. This is a great round for the Falcons.
Huge hold from Python as well. That was a case of all the eggs in the B basket. And Python finds one kill, stalls them out. And there's no option. Bad News Eagles already are so committed to the B bomb site that they have to try and force it out, and it's just impossible with the amount of utility and the amount of players in defense. So that was a nice round. We've got to keep it going, boys. Keep it going. You've drained the money. You've done the hard part as it was. But now this is a real challenge. This is a key round. If Falcons can win this, suddenly this game becomes a lot more competitive. And look at Maka finally feeling a little bit activated now he's on the AWP.
bNE.gxx got his first kill. Nice opener. For more here. HAdji. Did he actually spawn or did he just smell him? Got an audio cue? What is even happening here? What? Rygun. Time to get checked. Time to get your vision checked. Because that's just lost him the entire round. Okay. I'm going to charitably say that his weapon model completely blocked NBK from his vision. We didn't see it from his perspective, but that is a very fortunate bit of luck here for Falcons, and it's probably going to see them to a 9th round.
They needed it. For in the context that they lost the pistol in this half, they got reset in the first. It's not been a kind map for them so far economically or establishing anything, but they're really in this now, Mike. If they keep numbers alive, bank up some cash. Ecos to follow for Bad News Eagles. I'm feeling a lot better about Falcons than I did 2 or 3 minutes ago.
But again, like, so many of the moments for Falcons aren't so much about what they've done, so much as Bad News Bears massively Bad News Bears, that's my American showing. Bad News Eagles massively overextending into situations and fights, right? Like, yes, Falcons are doing a good job of capitalizing on those moments. And that is important. That is a huge thing. That could literally just win them this game. But I'm still not convinced, Alan, that this is a smart pick for Falcons overall. I haven't seen anything too inspiring.
And even the Ecstatic game that we saw last week, that Ecstatic team is so hindered, especially from the leadership perspective now, that they weren't calling a great game. So I resonate, and Maybe in practice, this map is just landslide victories where they're getting aggressive and it's working. But here, as you mentioned, mistakes have been a little bit too frequent for Bad News Eagles. And honestly, got to talk about NBK because he might only have 13 kills, Mike. But I swear to God, at least 11 of those have been monstrous impacts.
He is an impact fragger. It feels like he does nothing for 3 rounds, and then he lifts a 3K that absolutely wins them a situation. He should be NBI, nothing but impact. It is massive here. You're absolutely right. Lost a player already, but we got a rifle on Juanflatroo. Now we're going to see if Juanflatroo can't find him some kills. There's one. Oh, pressing forward. This is going to be risky. I don't expect the player by the back door, but Juanflatroo's already found one more. So let's expect misutaaa on the back of side. If they can deal with misutaaa, what could be? He does out of bullets, but he just needs a USB. He just needs to live, actually. Keep GXX in position because his teammates are here. They're playing the angle. And provided misutaaa survives, this should be over. And indeed it is. Nice play from misutaaa. He has another player where I feel like he's not gotten a huge breadth of kills, but the ones he's had have been quality.
Especially on the pistols. Done a lot of work on that front. Okay, then. This is suddenly a very compelling game, and look at the money now for Bad News Eagles. That previous one... So this confuses me a little bit, Mike, because the last one was sort of a half buy. But they've put themselves in a position where they've got a half buy again. The CSNopsyy Mac 10 utility is really low. And this is a fake, Mike. This is all a ruse just to call attention when really it's B. But Python early warning system can call that over now.
Killing mid. This could be huge. misutaaa goes down with only one. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. They're out of position. The bomb's going to go down. These rifles are still up. There is some retake utility in terms of the Molotovs. He's going to get caught. He didn't expect Rygon to make the move. So it all falls to hAdji. One lonely hAdji boy. He hasn't had his impact round just yet, but now would be the moment to shine. He will creep on in, but it's never going to happen. Juanflatroo finds the timing on the peak, and that is a 13th on the board for the Eagles.
Wow, what a round to win on the car boot sale buy. That was... I'm almost stunned how well that worked because the A fake wasn't that effective. I mean, it held them for a little bit. They're fortunate the Falcons started free committed A, I guess. Maybe a good read on their part. But, wow, yeah, Falcons, what an opportunity missed. And now they're going to do this the hard way. Look at this yellow aggression in front of the Molotov. 3 players swinging out. I guess they've got the control, but this still feels extremely risky.
Worked out, at least for the moment. And oh, it is indeed. hAdji continuing to press the issue. If he goes forward further, yeah, he is going to be dead. That was a little bit too far. But hey, an advantage still given over for the Falcons. NBK and misutaaa are low. But Maka, look at this control. Look at this space. He's all the way back in a spawn. He's all the way back through, Alan. If they try and rotate through here, he could have the backstab. He could be the key piece into this round, but he does, at some point, need to actually get down these steps. And if they just hit B and kill Python, all of this phenomenal positioning may not actually matter. Let's find out. Maka not getting a move on. He's very far back. It's going to take a while to get mobile. Well, he is coming up on the flank. Here comes the pressure on in. That Molotov a little bit shallow, but actually just missed. Maka going to be coming around the corner. They're stalling out. Maka just missing them. He's lost his teammate, but no one's turning around. He's missed his shots and he gets nothing. He gets nothing out of the position. This has to be a save. They want to back out. They're thinking about it. No. NBK wants to fight a little bit more, but that's going to be it all over. Maka cannot realize the promise of all of his space, and it spells ruin for the Falcons.
Oh, that is brutal. I mean,
that's yeah, tough. My condolences, my sympathies. We've all been there, but I think Maka was actually just trying to play it a little too safe, right? So
yeah,
by the time
I
he gets
think
there, he's
actually
panicking a bit.
Python could have played a retake because They were trying to have the best of all worlds, hold both sides and have the flank, but don't really have the numbers. So that would be my criticism. But I don't think they played it particularly badly, to be honest. Python bought a lot of time. It was just when crunch time came, Maka couldn't connect, unfortunately. And God, this is going to be brutal for Falcons if they lose this map, because it just feels like, first of all, how have they made it a 10 with some of these rounds, how they're conspiring, but also they equally have left quite a lot on the table, I think.
I'd like to say I feel the Python P250 play here, but I don't. That's why I don't. Just didn't have the same juice, didn't have the same sauce. Just didn't have the energy. And this one's going to be clean. 5 rounds to close here for the Bad News Eagles to walk away with their opponent's map pick, to move on to Mirage, a map that is super comfortable for them and, well, definitely not for the Falcons. So this is kind of the scenario I was imagining when we saw the veto to begin with. This was a little bit of an interesting, questionable veto pick here from the Falcons, and, well, just might need a little more fine-tuning, it seems. But let's see. Wouldn't be the first time a team's run 5 back in a row. And Python has just dunked a meaty nade right into Rygon's lap. Here we go. Python getting frisky with it. A second player drop. The bomb down. That's committed. Flashes are good here to take the space. But misutaaa wants to hold the line. The Bad News Eagles, having lost a player on the flank, now don't know where to turn. All right.
Oh, rock and a hard place. What do you do? Just commit? gxx is on the angle, but there's just so many nades. That's a nice frag, but it just feels like the moment of anywhere near a bomb plant. Surely misutaaa's going to get activated. He's dead. NBK swinging. Thank God he found that kill, Mike, because this was getting scary. And Hadji on the flank, he was a long way off. Now he's finally covering ground. NBK bails them out in the end there. That went a lot closer than it ever should have.
Feels like the story of Falcons games so far. But okay. They'll be able to continue fighting at the very least. Some limitations in this one as a result of all the casualties in the last. The buy is good enough, Alan. It's good enough. Now we just need to see the execution. gxx looking for a fight early on. For a pick. Maka instead who's tested. AWP focused in. Facility on it. Shots missed. And I don't know about that swing back in. I don't know about that check. He's been dinked up, been put on notice. They know the op's there. They will give him the ground for now. But it may not last. Python finding an opener elsewhere. That helps. I imagine Maka might want to get away from this angle.
Python starting to warm up on B here. He's found consecutive opening picks now on that side of the map, and look at CSNOPSYy, he knows the deal. Gain ground on his own, but that mortar forced him wide straight into the waiting arms of misutaaa. 3v5. The only saving grace here, Mike, is the CDs are out of position heavily towards A. They find this kill on Python. Suddenly an avenue, a route into B is open.
That's a brilliant shot. A ripper, and Rygon goes for one more. In most contexts, you'd say maybe that was a little greedy, maybe an overextension, but hey, if you just delete the head, that's fine. Bomb's gonna go down. And OneFlatroo might just put one more nail in his coffin and NBK, and while he has been the impact machine, that's too much of an ask. We'll be back after this break.